There were a ton of people that I saw on Twitter saying because of this backlash, because of Target rolling back their DEI program, that they were going to boycott. I don't believe it. I didn't believe it when you guys said you were going to do it to the NFL, and I don't believe it when you guys are saying that you're going to do it to Target. I don't believe that you had the wherewithal to actually prevent yourself from going to Target. I was never going to do it in the first place. So you could have counted me out of that boycott right from the beginning.
You can't say that.
Is he allowed to say that?
Say it louder. Businesses exist for one sole purpose, and that's to make a profit. So if things are not cutting it, then they have to get cut. The Joe Budden podcast was having a conversation about Target and them eliminating their DEI program where they were looking for minority-owned businesses and giving them some shelf life. Because they ended that program, there was a lot of backlash, people saying they were going to boycott and all types of things like that.
Are we supposed to be participating in a Target strike?
Mark?
I don't shop at
Tell me
Target.
about it, Mark. So, I ain't gonna say whether we should or we shouldn't, but this is what I say. The story is people are calling for a Target strike because Target has pulled out of all of its DEI shit. After Trump and everybody else has said DEI is dead and it's wrong, a lot of the companies that were making all this money on DEI, selling themselves as DEI companies, we recruiting black people, we getting black vendors, black businesses, all this shit, they've all stopped supporting it.
Like the jig is up.
Yeah, and very publicly. Yeah. And quiet as kept. Some of them never actually turned into money. They just took the publicity and never actually followed through. Surprise, surprise. Well, now people are saying, well, since Target made the announcement, we're going to boycott Target. Enter Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown was like, she went to Instagram because she had, and if you don't know Tabitha Brown, she's an actress. She does voice stuff. She does motivational speaking, author, books. She does all the things.
And also product line.
She has a million
hair products, spices.
Actress.
He said that already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're talking about her product line in Target specifically.
All the ads.
All the ads, dead ads.
Like them ads that these other chicks is dying to get out here.
Shout out to Tabitha Brown.
They said Target was having DEI initiatives. They were having programs or incentives or whatever that were targeting minority-owned businesses. They were bringing them in, giving them some shelf life, giving them the opportunity to be seen. Shout out to Target for doing that, but you don't need to target minority-owned businesses and specifically bring them into your fold. Let me tell you about the conversation that I had with my wife regarding this, because I told her I didn't like it. Businesses exist for the sole purpose of making a profit. They want to make money. That's it, and that's all. So anything outside of that, these programs and all of this stuff, it's performative. There was never any real incentive for Target to target minority-owned businesses other than the fact that George Floyd had just died. They were looking for a way to further market and further push people into their stores, so they aligned with a bunch of black businesses. Let me tell you what doesn't happen. Target doesn't bring in a company. That company starts making money. A ton of money. Target's making a ton of money, and then they take them off of the shelf. It can happen in some instances where the partnership isn't right. You know, there's some controversy surrounding the product or whatever. In those instances, things will be taken off of the shelf. But if a company is making money, hand over fist on a product, they're not going to take it off of the shelf, which is why Tabitha Brown got the backlash that she did. People wanted her to also participate in the boycott, but she said, hey, I have exclusive deals with Target. They sell a lot of my stuff. I have a lot of shelf space in Target for spices, which my wife has tried. I don't know what other products she has, but the mango seasoning, I wasn't a fan, Tabitha. But Tabitha has an exclusive deal with Target. So she's asking people, hey, I know you guys said you're going to boycott Target, and I get the sentiment behind it. But at least don't boycott my stuff. At least go in and buy the things that I sell to Target. Because that's how I make money. That's how I make a living. You've got this mob mentality that tells everybody, hey, they're not going to do this thing that they shouldn't have been doing in the first place. They're not going to support any more DEI initiatives. We need to boycott them and show them how angry we are about it. I'm going to tell you why you don't need any DEI initiatives. Because when your product is good, the people are going to find it. And when the people find it, it will spread. Is it going to happen overnight? No, it's not. If you sell a product to Target, if you sell a product to Walmart, if you sell a product to Amazon, if it's good, they're not going to get rid of it unless there's some sort of controversy. So what does that tell you about the products that they had to take off of the shelf? The products were not performing well. If they're not performing well, it's not because the owner is black. It's because the product isn't performing well. They try to align with brands based on the color of people's skin. And I absolutely get the history. I get the history of black people being disenfranchised and left out of opportunities and all of the things like that. But a business's sole purpose is to make a profit. So if they've tried this initiative and it's not working, the only thing they can do is roll back the initiative. And this doesn't just happen with black businesses. It might have happened with a ton of businesses based on this DEI campaign that they were trying to run since 2020, but it happens with businesses all the time. There was a company that I was invested in named Tattooed Chef. The company ended up going bankrupt. Target does hold one of their SKUs, a few of their SKUs, in the refrigerator section. They hold a few of the SKUs, but they don't hold nearly as many SKUs as they were holding back in 2021 and 2022 when I was invested in the company. So what does that tell you? If the product is not performing well, which is part of the reason that Tattoo Chef had the lawsuit, because they overinflated the value of what they had, and it wasn't exactly what they said, and the sell-through wasn't as good as shareholders were expecting based on the conversations. Target said, hey, this is not performing at the rate that we need it to perform. We're going to dial back a few SKUs. I don't know who Tattoo Chef is owned by, but what I do know is when something doesn't perform well, the company is going to get rid of it because their sole purpose is to make a profit. This has nothing to do with DEI. This has nothing to do with somebody being black or white. It's simple economics. We're here to make money. This is why I don't like the DEI incentive with these stores, because black people are capable of making good product, and we don't have to market it as a black-owned product to give it legitimacy and give ourselves the opportunity to eat off the backs of these DEI initiatives and minority initiatives. We don't have to do that. We can just make good products that stand on their own and are able to be sold among all the other products. We don't need this crutch of saying, hey, I'm black owned, put me on your shelf. We can walk in, have a presentation, say, I make a good product. Here are the numbers. This is the target demographic that I'm looking for. Here's the TAM, the total addressable market, and it will do well in your store based on this, and this. And that's the numbers from previous years. I think we're good enough to do that. We don't need to give ourselves an additional identifier. Is there a problem with saying, hey, I'm a black person and I created this, I own this? Of course not. You can say whatever it is that you want to say about your product. But what I'm saying is I believe in our ability enough that we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves into getting on a shelf based on this one thing. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to use that as your advantage, then by all means, go ahead and do that, because the world is difficult. You have to take every advantage that you have to get ahead. I believe in that. But I also believe that you can stand on your own too if you make a good product, and it will remain in stores as long as it's selling through, as long as you're making a profit and the company is making a profit. They're going to continue to hold as many SKUs as you can give them that are going to make them money. There were a ton of people that I saw on Twitter saying because of this backlash, because of Target rolling back their DEI program, that they were going to boycott. I don't believe it. I didn't believe it when you guys said you were going to do it to the NFL, and I don't believe it when you guys are saying that you're going to do it to Target. I don't believe that you have the wherewithal to actually prevent yourself from going to Target. I was never going to do it in the first place. So you could have counted me out of that boycott right from the beginning. I believe that next quarter, we're going to see that Target is doing just fine. People are going to realize they need toilet tissue and soap, and they want to pick up this little snack that only Target sells over Walmart, and they're going to go in and they're going to buy that thing. But they're going to do a lot of lip service on Twitter and on the internet because this is America. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. And if you have any thoughts on all these companies rolling back their DEI programs or Target specifically, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Till next time. Peace.